Hey everybody.
Hey everybody.
Welcome back to the Chill Spot Podcast. Another lovely week.
Glad to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how has your week been in summary, Sam?
Not productive.
Great.
Just one of those weeks where you just gotta call it.
Yeah.
You know? Like, it's not working out. Your brain is just somewhere else.
You take it day by day, and you know what though? Next week is on the horizon, Sam. Mm-hmm. And my week was the same, pretty much. We didn't really do too much, but, you know.
Yeah.
More weeks on the way.
I'm grateful for the opportunity to shift gears.
But it's another day, more Chill Spot stuff to do.
Another day, another dollar.
Another week of streaming, another week of making that money.
You're making that cheddar.
Making those $5 subs.
Thank you for all of your support.
Before we dive right in, Sam, I actually wanted to bring up something that we did this week that we haven't done in a very long time, which is go out and get McDonald's. And how much of a treat that was?
I probably haven't had McDonald's in a year.
Probably.
I really did not. You know, when quarantine first started, everybody in my circle kind of took on not eating out as much, or when we do eat out, especially at the beginning of the pandemic when small businesses were really struggling. Mom and I only tried to order out from independently owned restaurants.
Yeah, you don't want to get fucking Wendy's.
Yeah.
You know,
so fast food kind of went out the window because we first of all we wanted meals. We weren't on the go or anything like that, or working super late into the day. So we never really had those days where we were I just want a fast food burger.
Yeah, I want some A&W.
Yeah, it didn't happen. So I haven't had McDonald's probably in a year.
Wow.
Or even I think once I asked my mom for a 6-pack of McNuggets.
Yeah, shake things up a little bit.
But I haven't had a combo in a year.
Good for you.
So I had some extra scratch because I did a couple of paid readings.
Yeah, because Sam's making that dollar guala.
Something like that, yeah. And I treated us to some McDicks.
And I appreciate it. It was good dick.
It was good. It was good dicks.
Real good dick.
Real good dicks. Took out and got us both some real good dick.
Dick down by Ronald himself.
Yeah.
I got Eiffel Towered by Grimace.
Oh, yeah. We went to the House of Charity, all right.
Yeah, the Ronald McDonald House is not what you think it is.
They're charitable, not in the way you would think.
Oh, so giving, though. So generous.
Very generous.
Very, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know,
They really give it to you. They really hand it out.
But you know what, Sam? Actually, we were thinking about something that's been going on in the internet for the past 10 years, it seems like. But
20 years.
I want to ask you a question. You ever been trolled before? Genuinely trolled before?
A little bit, I think. So as most of you know, I love my homescapes and my gardenscapes, but it's kind of a pay to play app. You play. I mean, you can get away with not playing or not paying for stuff in the game, but it's certainly a lot easier and a lot more fun if you do. So a lot of people, and even if you go to the reviews on the App Store, a lot of people are dissatisfied with the game because they got to a certain level and it was really, really hard.
Yeah.
And they stopped. That level is different for everybody. But, a lot of reviews are you get to a certain point and then you just can't win the level if you don't have power-ups. And it's too ridiculous to wait the amount of time or do all the stupid tasks to get free power-ups. It's not enough. I gave up. It's stupid. I hate it.
Yeah.
So Homescapes and Gardenscapes has a mascot, Austin the Butler. In Gardenscapes, he's the guy who writes you to tell you that you've inherited your dead uncle's lavish garden.
Total loser.
And in Homescapes, he's the guy who Austin goes back to his parents' house. They have a massive, massive, massive estate mansion, fucking huge house. And it's Austin's childhood home, and they're moving out of it, and they're trying to put it up for sale, and Austin's trying to convince them to keep the house. Regardless, you deal with Austin a lot. So because he's the face of the app, he is also the face of people's ire.
Yeah. He earned that.
People fucking hate Austin a lot. And I get it, because that motherfucker patronizes you whenever you play the levels. Yeah, okay, so there are these like events that go on where like Austin's friends will come along and they'll be like, we want to win a local contest to decorate a garden. Can we use yours, Austin? He's like, sure, let's decorate it like a candy land. And you have to beat levels to get rewards points to buy decorations to decorate the thing as like a candy land. And there's only like, 20 days to do it. But you have to beat levels, and that is really hard because the game is fucking hard and it wants you to spend real money to buy power-ups in the game. And people are not okay with that. And if you don't finish the event, his friends go, oh my God, this is our dream. You ruined our dream. You broke our hearts. It's too bad we couldn't get the Candyland done on time. This is all I wanted. This is all I needed. I'm being dramatic, but
I don't think you are.
They act genuinely sad if you can't complete the event on time, which is impossible because they don't give you enough time for how fucking hard the levels are.
Right.
To get all of the things.
But that's where you spend money. That's where the money comes in. Right.
They fuck with your emotions. To be like,
they emotionally manipulate you.
I can't let these characters down. So people are fucking mad at the game. So
Jesus.
I was looking, as someone who pushes through and is on like level 2000 of this game.
You must be a record holder at this point.
I wanted to see if there was anybody else on the internet who talked about the game. I was looking for community.
You were looking for a community. Yeah. A game community.
So naturally, I went to the place where you're supposed to be able to find a community for anything that you're interested in, which is Reddit.
Such a mistake.
And I found a subreddit. The only subreddit with a decent population was called r/fuckhomescapes.
I can't believe that.
And I thought it was a joke. Like, I thought, like, whatever. It's just where you go to, like, express frustration with the game. You'd be like, look at this level. How do they expect us to beat this? Oh, those devs. Oh, it's so frustrating. And I go there, and it's just people taking screenshots of Austin, calling him a bald fuck, and talking about how they hope that he gets burned alive and, like, murdered and shit. They hate this guy so much.
Right.
So I, in my Reddit innocence... somehow push through all of this because I believe the best in people at all times. I really am a glass half full person. Like I am naturally inclined to a glass half full sort of persona. So I post on r/fuckhomescapes, which like the more I say the story out loud, the more I'm like, I was a fucking idiot.
Like, what are you thinking? Yeah.
I was asking to get trolled. But like making just a target out of myself. Took a picture of a hard level that I was having a really difficult time with. Screen capped it, posted it, and was like, has anybody gotten past this level yet? It was like level like 1720. Like I was deep in the sauce. And someone saw it and was like, why are you so far in the game? Like, how did you get to over level 1000? And I was like, what? I like this game. And they were like, I can't believe some troll found me and was like, I can't believe you tolerate the bald fuck that like long enough to get to level 1000 and like just insulted me within an inch of my life.
Wow.
Because I played a game.
That's Reddit for you.
Yeah. And that was the moment where I was kind of like, okay.
Enough.
Well,
because it's not. Well,
I didn't lean into it, but because like trolls would try to like rile you up to get you to respond, so that you say shit, but so they can get you more mad. But I was just like, this is a troll subreddit.
Yes.
I'm gonna leave
because you're being trolled. Because
you're
currently under the bridge, as one might say.
Yeah.
Home. Yeah. Of the trolls.
Yes.
Yeah. But well, it's good. I mean, I'll be honest with you. It's good that you've sort of narrowly escaped that because Reddit is like we mentioned is kind of like a breeding ground for trolls and troll culture.
Yeah.
Right. So the problem with Reddit is that it logs everything you do from the moment you sign up and every interaction you have. Yeah. Being every comment, every post, everything. Right. So if a troll really hates you enough, they'll literally, like, there's people on Reddit who have no time, like, or all the time in the world. Well, they'll just go back in your post history and, like, brigade you and, like...
Oh, like, follow you around the internet?
Basically. Yeah. Or even go back to, like, old posts you made from, like, 4 years ago. Be like, oh, wow, look, still such an idiot 4 years ago. Yeah. There's people that do this. So, like, in my opinion, you actually narrowly escaped what could have been, like, you having to have to delete your Reddit account or something.
Wow.
And, like, start a new one.
Wow.
Happens all the time. It's really fucked up. Reddit can be a very, very scary place.
I guess that's why you lurk.
100%.
Like, I remember when you saw me, like, responding to a thread on Reddit. You were like, you post on Reddit?
I was like, what are you doing? You're gonna get fucking stalked or killed or something.
Yeah,
It's a bad time to be, man.
Yeah.
But actually, the place I see trolls the most is on Twitter. To answer the question I asked, I've been trolled a handful of times, but never so bad that I needed to, like, delete an account or... But I think the most I've been trolled, I'll briefly bring this up because we mentioned it on a podcast many episodes ago. But this D&D, I guess, Twitter account that was like famous for like D&D memes posted some meme about how Dungeons and Dragons is like babysitting people and like, you know, managing, you're like a micromanager in a way and trying to deal with conflict and stuff like that. But I quote tweeted that and was like, this really hasn't been my experience. Yeah. Like, I understand that this might be other people's experiences, but it really, like, I can't stress enough when my players are all very positive. And, like, there's no problems. And then he came back and got real snarky with me. But I could tell that he was doing that to get a reaction out of me because he thought that I was trying to dunk on him or something. Yeah. And I fucking came back and was like, because the easiest way to deal with troll is just put out the fire, right? Just be like, brother, I didn't mean any harm. Like, what do you want from me?
I remember that interaction. That was one of the times where I wanted to go all mama bear and be like, don't bother my boyfriend!
I will kill you!
I'll kill you. Don't mess with my girlfriend because she's a Capricorn and she's crazy!
She's born on January and will stab a hoe!
But no, I think that guy... he tried to pull the whole, like, it was just a fucking joke, man. Why are you taking it so serious? He was like, why are you taking my joke so seriously? And I kind of wanted to be like, in my rage, be like, you weren't fucking joking. You're only saying that now because you got fucking called out. You didn't, like, call him out.
Attention, Twitter, but 400 followers.
You speaking up and saying, I disagree with you. You're posting as if, you didn't say this exactly, but, you know, in you saying that isn't my experience, you were saying to him, this universal experience, because he was trying to be relatable. I was like, this universal experience that you think we're all having is really not that universal. No. And it is possible to just have fun with your friends, with your D&D campaign without conflict, and everybody has a good time. And I think he got mad at that because he was trying to be like hashtag relatable, and people get defensive when they are trying to start something like that and someone says, actually, that's not true. They
get their backs up against the wall.
Yeah. And it's, you know, like, I get it. I've posted things like that before and gotten that reaction. You get kind of pissed off. You're like, why can't you just let my joke be a joke? But to a certain extent, you're not joking. And D&D is something that you're passionate about and that you've been very lucky to have a lot of positive experiences with.
Most definitely. So almost universally positive, actually.
Yeah. So, like, you know, I think he just got a little in his fifis about that.
Well, you can get the fuck out my mentions, bro. I'm not trying to come after you.
Exactly.
You have like 2,000 followers. Like, the fuck you want from me?
Exactly.
I'm just a guy.
Exactly.
You know, that's what always gets me about these trolls. Yeah. And like, so another thing about trolling is like, okay, so for instance, in big news recently, Gina Carano from Mandalorian fame, outed her whole ass and then got fired from the show.
She has a lot of bad beliefs about a lot of things.
Yeah, she believes that Republicans are like the Jews during the Holocaust right now. Like, you know, conservative women love to believe that they're targets. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? That being said, I've seen on many posts about her is that, like, you have trolls, and they are trolls, coming to be like, hell no, like, I want Gina back on the show. And it's like, first of all, bro, if I go back and far enough in your Twitter history, you called her an SJW implant when you saw the episode for the first time. And now all of a sudden she's so important to you.
All of a sudden she's your hero. All of a sudden she's the fucking...
You ever heard of the quartering? Does that ring a bell?
No.
The quartering is this, like, I don't really know, but it kind of comes off as this, like, conservative, very alt-right, like, anti-SJW, like, get these women out of my Star Wars kind of guy. You know what I mean when I say that?
Do I ever?
And it's just so fucked up how he's like tweeting out about how like it's terrible that Gina Carano is being stifled because of her opinion, and then it's like,
your opinion kills people, bro.
Your opinion kills people, and you literally didn't give a fucking shit about her until you found out she was a conservative. So it's like, but people like the quartering make their whole business on riling people up.
Yeah.
Which brings us back to troll culture, because I think there's something important about troll culture is like the advice, don't feed the trolls, is apt.
Yeah.
Don't feed them. I see so many people. Like, for instance, on a post today, someone was like, hell no, like, Gina is my Cara Dune. Like, because another Latina actress was like, hey, I'm buff and Latina. Like, I'll be Cara Dune. You know? And I was like, sure. I mean, it's not like Gina was even that great of an actor.
I thought she was.
For what? I mean, for the role she played,
before I knew she was a fucking nightmare of a human being.
Yeah.
Let me say.
I mean, I will say that, like, her character, after seeing both seasons, is, like, a little underutilized,
okay.
I guess. A little wooden, in my opinion. But she fulfills a role that needs to be filled, so whatever. I'm not going to get in my fees about it.
Yeah.
But then, so this guy tweeted this thing, and he was like, oh, Gina Carano, I love you, kiss me. And then, like, you know, a bunch of people were, like, dunking on him and, like, ratioing him. Which I learned is that, like, I feel like an old person. I figure out what ratioing is. Which is, for what, apparently, like, when your comment tweet gets more likes than the parent tweet.
Gotcha.
You've been ratioed.
Okay.
Which is, like, I guess a new word for, I always call that dunking on people. That's what I thought dunking was.
Well, yeah, that's what they do, but then the popularity makes it ratio.
Turns it into a ratio.
Yeah.
Twitter terms, man.
God. Really are just speaking a different language.
But to wrap up my little thing here, like, what these people fail to understand is that, like, this guy doesn't give a shit about what he said.
No.
And he replied to literally everybody. So, like, clearly, he's just trying to get under people's skin.
Yeah.
Because that's what he likes.
Because he's got the time.
But people feel as though they're like, no, I have to fight the troll and, like, prove him wrong and change his mind. And it's like, you're not going to change his mind.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
That was a hard lesson that I had to learn, actually, on the internet. In the days when I used Facebook a lot more. I used to spend a lot of time with my friends, like, not looking for trouble, but, like, posting social justice oriented things and then fighting with literally anybody
in your comments
who, you know, disagreed with me. And these people said vile things for what it's worth. Like, these people said awful things and deserved to be stood up to. I thought I was standing up to bigots, you know, and making myself clear about where I stood. The footprints that I leave on the internet is an important thing to me because anybody can find anything at any time.
It's all logged.
And I wanted it to be apparent that I was, you know, anti-homophobe, anti-transphobe, anti-black racism.
Yeah.
Or anti-black racism. Whatever. Anti-racism. You know, like pro-immigration, pro-choice, all of that. I wanted it to be clear that if anybody were to ever dig that deep into my social media enough, they would find that I have always been for this. So I spent a lot of time arguing on the internet, and I would get anxious, and I would be, I would sit, you know, like I'd be in class, and, you know, like my blood would be pumping and my heart would be pounding, thinking about all of the notifications that I was getting while I was trying to pay attention in class, and all the awful things that people were saying and what I was going to read next. And I stopped because at one point I was just like, whether or not I get the last word in these conversations, and it was honestly like 50-50, whether or not I got the last word or whether or not the asshole that I was fighting with got the last word, whether or not I actually changed that person's mind was unclear every single time.
I'd argue, like, rarely.
Probably never.
Yeah, probably never.
In all honesty, probably never. And I wasn't changing the world like that. And I just thought about what I actually wanted to do, which was make the world a safer place for marginalized people.
Yeah.
And just arguing on the internet doesn't do that.
It really doesn't.
It's not. I thought it was, because, you know, like people were talking about like keyboard activism and how it's not enough. And I thought, well, maybe if I get into it with people, you know, because I can't
change some minds.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know all these people. Like, these people aren't people I see in the flesh every single day. So I thought, like, at least if I could talk to them, like, in a one-on-one conversation, either like in a super long fucking comment section or message them and stuff, I could do something. I was doing something more with my activism. But you're fucking not.
You really aren't.
They're safe behind their screen. Confrontations over the internet aren't confronting enough.
And you both have different objectives in this conversation.
Yeah, their objective isn't to have their mind changed.
Their objective isn't even to prove their point.
No.
They just want to rile you up.
They just want you to get mad.
That's it.
And it's not productive.
Yeah.
It's really not. It really is, slacktivism. Like, it's not,
no, that's a good word.
you're not, I didn't come up with it, but you're not helping your cause. Whatever cause you're trying to fight for, you're not helping.
It's not helping, no.
You've really got to walk your walk. That's why I talk so much about doing what you know is right and not, not participating in bystander non-intervention and all of that stuff, because that is the kind of thing that really makes the world a better place.
Yeah, changing. It's less about fighting every fight and more about fighting the right fight at the right time.
Yeah.
Is that sort of what you're saying?
Yes, but also just like in your everyday action, showing that you're not for that kind of behavior.
Right.
Exhibiting.
Yeah, okay, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Goodwill towards men and all of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And for people.
Humans. And women.
Humans.
And people.
Humans.
And dogs.
I mean, yeah.
And cats.
Yeah. Hamsters and rabbits and all that shit.
Thought I'd say. It needs to be said.
You got your point across very well, baby. I'm proud of you. Thank you.
Although this begs an interesting question. It kind of acts as a bit of a segue. What you mentioned about wanting people to see your internet digital footprint. Mm-hmm. In your opinion, and I'm not coming after you for that when I ask this question, because I think it applies to me as well. How much of your online interactions is fueled by the fact that someone is going to see
so
this?
Much of it.
And then also color their opinion of you.
So much of it.
Right?
So much of it.
So much of it.
Especially now that I'm starting to get to a point in my life where people in the industry that I'm trying to break into follow me.
Yeah.
Artistic directors of some theater companies I admire follow me on Twitter.
Ooh.
Like, sometimes I'll see a post, like a meme on Twitter, and I love it and I think it's hilarious, but it is so nasty.
Yeah.
It is so fucking nasty. I don't even want to like it for fear that it'll show up in their feed as like, Sam Planet liked this post. Yeah. And it's like a picture of like
oh, big milky jugs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
totally.
Exactly. So yeah, like a lot of, social media is a fucking lie. We're all lying on there, I can cop to it.
This isn't even my real hair.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a sew-in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, so much of it. And, I think we all know that we're lying to each other on social media, which is why I don't have much of a problem not copying to it. I do try and be as genuine as possible. And that's also why I don't post on social media a whole lot.
No, not really.
I don't post unless I have something to say.
Yeah.
Unless I have something to lie about.
We mentioned this in a previous podcast, but to sort of sum up our feelings on it, I think like you and I agree that social media is something that's curated because everyone curates their social media. Mm-hmm. I think if you're upfront about that, like if you want to follow me on Twitter, you know what you're going to get? You're going to get chill spot news. You're going to get video game opinions, and then anecdotes and thoughts about my life and the things I watch and play. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, that's really it. But I say that, like, in my bio.
Yeah.
Like, this is what you're going to get. And then art every now and then when I draw something.
Yeah.
But, like, not to get off topic, what I wanted to bring that around to is, like, how much do you think on Twitter is there activism and activists who are that way because of their social media footprint? Like,
so much.
Like, I hate to use this term because I know it's been kind of bastardized, but how many social justice warrior accounts, and I do mean the people who fight the good fight, are in it because they got that taste of clout, and now it's more about the clout than it is about the fight?
A couple. I've tried to cut down on it a lot, or at least mute those people.
Well, because
it's so depressing, because like there's so much bad stuff in the world, and I do want to stay connected to it, but I want to stay connected to it via actual activists who are doing literal work. I follow a couple of local activists from Kitchener who are trying to fight anti-Black racism in KW. Like, I follow a literal reporter who is trying to start a newspaper right now in Kitchener, is listing actual organizations to get funding, and it has an actual partner who I have seen talk about activism as well in my community. You know, that's who I want to follow more of, not
the grassroots. Yeah.
No. Grassroots is fine. That is grassroots.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the grassroots activist. I'm not talking about the person that a mutual acquaintance of ours dated a couple of years ago, and now I just follow them because I follow them, and every once in a while they say like, you know, don't tell sex workers what to do with their body because sex work is real work and you don't want to do it. We all pay for it. And I'm like,
retweet.
First of all, I don't appreciate the tone of voice that you take with me. That's the thing about keyboard warriors is that I don't appreciate the fucking tone you take with me.
Because they come at you like you're the problem.
It's all like, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. And I'm like, I never fucking did. I never did.
What you want from me, dude? We're on the same side.
I never, fuck off.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Totally.
Yeah.
Now, here's the kicker question, Sam.
Yeah.
These clout-chasing leftists, I'll call them.
Well, and they all have their friends, right? They all have like they generate a circle of online friends who just like circle jerk each other by liking it. You get the same 17 likes, but then you see a tweet get 17 likes, and you're like, "Damn, this doing numbers," and you feel good about yourself. So you post more fucking buzzword dumb shit.
What is the biggest difference between an account like that and a troll? And let me expunge on that. Because I think the biggest thing with trolls and troll fame or infamy, as you might call it, is like trolls exist to get you riled up. And it's never to really start conversations. Yeah. But a lot of troll comments do start conversations. Yeah. If you think about it, right?
Yeah.
How many times have you logged onto Twitter and someone's quote tweeted something where it's like, this guy's an idiot for these reasons and here's why this is an issue. And then it's like a big 40 chain tweet that ends with like, get this sweet octopus pillow that's reversible. You know, like that's Twitter for you. But then you have these like radical leftists, right? It's kind of a weird way to call them. I should say these clout-chasing leftists, what I used earlier, is a better way of doing it.
I wouldn't call them radical.
Who, if you think about it, exist to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Make people angry and start conversations. Yeah. The difference is that we align a bit more with what they're saying in terms of content, in terms of belief. Yeah. So we don't see them as trolls. But if we were on the right...
See, I wouldn't call them trolls because trolls actively search out action. Okay. These people aren't necessarily trying to like start action. Yeah. They just want to be agreed with. Right. They're just people who want to be agreed with. And that's fine. Like there's a very human, trolls just want to see the world burn. Right. People who post, you know, baseline don't be a dick posts, like stuff like, don't tell black people what they should do with their hair if you don't have the same hair pattern as us. It's like, yeah, no, obviously. Right. But obviously people are going to like that en masse because it's nice to hear. Like if you have a large black following or if like you're a person who knows a lot of black people, it's nice to hear like, yeah, don't tell black people what to do with our hair. And you don't have any, you know, non-black people have no perception of what neatness and good hair looks like to black people or on black hair. So like, yeah, obviously I'm going to agree with that. Like, yeah, these people want to get you riled up, but not in like a frothing at the mouth kind of way. Sure. Okay. But more in like a
like a rah-rah.
Yeah, like a rah-rah kind of way.
I agree with that.
Like it is, it's like it's not troll because it's not expressly negative. It's just like after a while, especially when you follow a certain account for a while, you're like, okay, I don't think your goal here is to change the world. I think your goal here is to get likes because you want to be agreed with, because you want that shot of serotonin into your brain. Yeah. And we're all chasing that, you know, like I don't, it's annoying to watch, but there's a humanness behind it that I understand. You know, the to be liked, to want to be agreed with, to feel like what you're saying, or to feel like you're a good person. You know, you want those likes because if you say like treat sex workers with respect and you get a bunch of likes, then you feel like you're doing the right thing, especially in this day and age when political correctness is so important to a lot of people. You want to feel like you are the most politically correct person.
Right, but the issue I take with that, and where I think it borders on like, okay, the reason why I brought up this question in the first place is because I think the definition of troll is getting broader and broader, and I think that trolling isn't 100% negative all the time, whereas like you can define these people as trolls in a way because it's like, you're preaching to a choir. Nobody who follows you disagrees with you. But you want that 80,000 like tweet that like sets off a fire on everyone and makes people happy.
Yeah.
The issue I take is that if your Twitter account, which was at one point about expunging your opinions on these things and getting like what you believe to be the truth out there, has now become something people regurgitate because it makes them feel good, like, where do you think that sits? Like, I think I kind of feel like that's a small issue, or at least a part of a larger issue, where it's like so many people will talk a talk, but not many will walk a walk. It's really easy to retweet something. It's less easy to fight for what you believe in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still don't think I would call it trolling per se. Okay. I understand what you mean about like you think that you see trolling evolve.
Because it's become a matter of perspective.
But in my definition, trolling remains something that you do to elicit a negative reaction out of somebody.
Right.
It's something that you do to try and anger somebody to the point where their composure breaks down. But people who post, buzzword heavy social justice things about heavy topics aren't trying to, they really do want you to like see the light, On
some level,
they're not trying to break you. They're trying to be the person that brings you the information that leads you to be a better person.
I see what you
mean.
That's
what they want. I feel like these people, what they want is for one day there will be a message in their inbox that is like, hey, I was one of those people who stormed the Capitol and I wanted, wanted to hang Nancy Pelosi from a cliff. And I saw your post about, how the prison system is basically just modern day slavery, and it changed my entire perception on everything. And I am now pro-choice, pro-ho, pro-weed, pro-black, pro-brown, pro-everything. And it was because of your tweet about the prison system that changed my entire perspective.
Yeah, okay.
You changed my life, and now I wish I could go back in time and vote for Hillary. Like
they want that, yeah.
That is the high that they're chasing. They really want to change minds, and I can't fault you, but it's just like, guys,
that's not happening.
It's not gonna happen.
No,
it's not gonna happen. You tweeting is not gonna make that happen.
Stop trying to make it happen.
It's really not gonna fucking happen because you tweet a lot about stuff.
It's true. This is true.
Like, it's just like you're chasing a magic, and it's not real. Magic isn't real.
Exactly.
Not when it comes to people's entire belief systems and rhetorics. It's not gonna happen.
Well, I mean, like, and this is a little side note, tangent, anecdote, but like, it goes back to Trump is in his impeachment trial currently undergoing as we record this, and a lot of the rhetoric of his defense lawyers is that like one speech on Capitol Hill incited this one like teensy beatsy little incident, this little whoopsie where we almost lost democracy.
People have literally been getting lynched this entire throughout his entire term.
But what they're exactly right. What people have been forgetting is that like the Capitol riots didn't start because Trump said some mean oopsie words that morning. He's been saying mean oopsie words for 4 years.
Yeah.
As the president.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a long, deep-seated issue.
Like a year before that, he said, "Proud Boys, stand by and stand down and stand by."
Less than a year. Yeah. What the fuck do you think this is standing by for?
Yeah.
Why do you think he said that?
They've been on standby.
Yeah.
And then he went, go.
Exactly. But not to talk about fucking Donald goddamn Trump.
Yeah.
I was talking about how the term troll has evolved, has become more of a matter of perspective as to what like you truly believe to be a troll. Because I think when the internet and trolling was first a thing, it was pretty black and white. It was like, you're a troll if you do these negative things that elicit negative feelings and you're out to make fun of, or...
It was very much like, how with siblings, parents will say like, oh, he's just doing that to get a rise out of you.
Yes.
He's just yanking on your hair to get a rise out of you.
Bullies. Yeah. They're bullies is what they were.
It was, I hate to use the term light bullying, but they were really just saying like you would post a video, you'd be like, this video was funny, and they'd be like, no, it's not.
Exactly.
And you'd be like, yeah, it was. I really enjoyed this video. And the troll would be like, it's not funny and you're stupid. You know, like
because they're trying to undermine you, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's what trolling was.
Yeah.
I think that people have taken the concept of that sort of idea of getting under people's skin and transmortified it into this thing where trolling can be performative now. It can be viewed as a performance. Like, I would actually argue that lots of YouTubers take on trolling as their medium to get their yucks. You ever heard of the YouTuber Donkey? Video game Donkey?
No, I don't think so.
Long story short, Donkey is hilarious. He's one of my favorite YouTubers. He's this guy he's got this particular way of speaking and oh yeah, woo woo.
I think you showed me a couple of his videos once.
Donkey is hilarious.
Something. Like Sonic or something.
Yeah, he covers all sorts of video games, but his whole bit is that whenever he plays games with people, he bothers them. Okay. He makes he does stupid things in the game, and then the bit is always that it succeeds, and then it gets a rise out of people, but it's a very friendly, understanding, people, if you're doing a video with Donkey, would have to understand that this is how this is going to go. So no one gets mad at him for it. He's also totally harmless. It's not like he's on Twitter retweeting Trump or something, right?
Yeah.
But I find it fascinating how Donkey has taken trolling and transformed it into a performance angle.
Right.
And now it's his whole YouTube channel is these videos, right?
Okay. I think trolling should remain a negative thing. I think that we should keep it in the realm of negativity, because we need to be able to name these people when we see it. I'm just bad at noticing it. You are much better at pointing out trolls than I am. Or I remember feeling really bad on Twitter one time, because where else do you go to feel bad and stupid? But the first time it was ever pointed out to me that trolls will often put numbers next to their names, a bunch of numbers. That wasn't obvious to me. I thought that was just a thing that people did. Or you know how sometimes people keep accounts from 9 years ago that they made when they were younger, and you did stuff put numbers in your usernames?
Sure.
I just thought it was that, you know? And people were like, oh, this is obviously a troll. This is obviously a troll. This is obviously a fake account. This isn't real. And I was like, how can you tell?
Right.
And I would go through comment sections, which is just the worst thing to do. And comment sections of threads of people arguing with trolls, and someone would be like, this is obviously a troll account. Look at the picture and then look at what they're saying. It's a picture of a white person and they're using AAVE. Who does that? This is obviously a troll. And I'm like, do you not know that white people love to use AAVE? I feel like I just saw a conversation about a white person using AAVE, and now you're saying that someone with a white profile picture using AAVE is a troll?
Yeah.
What's the truth?
Well, I mean,
what's the truth? I hate the word obviously on the internet.
Right.
Because not everything is obvious to everybody. We don't all have the same life experiences. So, I don't know. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of white people who, the second I drop some AAVE, they're he finna do this. He trying to get me to blah, blah, blah. It's man.
Yeah, homie, jiving and shit.
Excuse me, stewardess. I speak jive. It's just man, you don't know white people like I know white people.
Right.
You know?
Well, troll accounts on Twitter can take all sorts of different kinds of forms.
Yeah, and they constantly evolve because people point it out. So they have to come up with something new to stay, hidden. Well,
I mean, I think in terms of I think about okay, it's sort of splintered into multiple areas of Twitter, right? The social justice side of Twitter, a troll account might be some bald white guy with a big beard and sunglasses on.
Yeah.
That's his profile, right? And like you said, it might be Trump lover 84, 84, 35, 98, right?
Yeah.
Which if you see more than 4 numbers in someone's Twitter handle, it's a bot. Because it was generated, right?
Yeah.
That's literally how that works.
But there was a time where I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then, all the people in the comments were like, oh, this is obviously a troll. Look at the name. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean, look at the name?
A lot of troll accounts in the animation side of Twitter typically have anime avatars.
Yeah.
They'll have a Ken Kaneki crying blood with a grayscale put over it or something, right?
Yeah.
It's all very, very very edgy, I always one of my favorite things to do when it comes to identifying trolls on Twitter, and and like that whole conversation we just had about, or the many conversations we've had about Twitter and how to navigate it without losing your mind, is to just click on their profile and be like, oh, they have 20 followers.
Yeah.
You aren't anybody.
You aren't anybody.
According to the internet points on this website, you're a fucking loser.
Yeah.
And like your rhetoric proves that.
But like, for what it's worth, when you're active on Twitter and you're not spewing bullshit, you do naturally gain followers.
Well, of course.
Like, there are people on Twitter who I don't know who follow me because somebody that I do know liked my tweet and it wound up in their timeline. And so they scroll through my account and they follow me. And after, like, I've been on Twitter for I think 11 years now, 12 years. Over time, people find your account and you get more followers. So like, it's not that hard to get to 100 followers on Twitter. You know, and that's not a lot of people, but that is a human amount of people, like 100 or so followers on Twitter, if you're active and if you're not, you know, a bot or a troll. You know, if I go to someone's account and they have 20 followers, I'm like, you're full of shit because you're not tweeting normal things.
Your account is 3 days old.
Well, like, but that comes with experience, right? Checking that stuff. But even if the account isn't 3 days old, I mean, it's worse if it's more than 3 days old. If it's like a year old and you have like 80 followers, you're obviously not interacting with people on this app.
No.
In a way that makes them want to follow you. So you're probably a piece of shit.
Because everyone knows, if you have less than 100 followers on Twitter, you're a fucking piece of shit.
I
mean... Jack said so. He went on talking to Mark Zuckerberg and was like, these fucking losers, am I right? These plebeians, dude.
I try. I give them notifications of like people that they should follow and they don't fucking do it. They're losers, man. I'm telling you. Did I ever mention, like, this is anecdotal, but like, did I ever mention like so Twitter has this thing called like subjects or whatever. You can follow subjects. Oh yeah. So it's like you can follow the Super Mario sub, and like, I don't use it, but I know what you're talking about.
No, and you shouldn't.
No.
I brought this up before, but
same with lists.
I followed.
Give a shit about lists.
I don't get what lists are, but I followed a bunch of topics. That's what they call it, topics. I followed a bunch of topics months ago, and every single thing that got, and I do mean every single thing from those topics that got shot onto my timeline, pure trash. Like, just like vile and hatred and trolling. Like, it's like, when I followed the Super Mario topic, I thought maybe someone would post like a cool thing they did in Mario Odyssey. Yeah. And I get to see it. Yeah. Or like some cool art that someone made. Nice speedrun footage, you know? You know? Yeah. Not being like, if you don't like Mario 64, you should kill yourself! And it's like, I do. I won't. Thank you. I no problem with that game. Like, Jesus Christ. But that's the kind of shit that was getting like tweeted to me. Like on my timeline. That's the kind of shit that was ending up on my fucking timeline. You know what? I think that's Twitter for you. Yeah. It's funny because like the work that I do with the dramaturgical firm Subtext that I'm working with right now, we had a consultation with a social media expert, or like a productivity expert, just to kind of talk about, because I'm supposed to helm their social media, just to kind of talk about like patterns and, you know, what's hot right now and how to sort of promote your brand to get out there, to get more clients. And she was like, okay, so like what platforms are you guys on? We were like, oh, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And she was like, okay, gonna be honest with you, Twitter, not very popular with promoting stuff. A lot of companies don't use Twitter to really promote their products or services to their audiences. And I think that is having an effect. I'm not saying that like brands run social media, but they do, but Twitter has proven itself to be a place where you can't really, like, you don't really go there to interact in any sort of like chronological way that makes sense with people, especially because Twitter's feed isn't chronological. It just kind of gives you whatever, whenever. Right. I'll hear something about like a viral tweet in like the news, like my Twitter news page, like the search page, and I don't see the actual tweet. It'll be from an account that I follow, and I don't see the actual tweet until the next day. And I'm like, this was news yesterday, and it didn't show up on my feed. It was news. So it's just proven itself. The fact that it's so like non-interactive, I think affects the tone of voice that people take with it, and like it just breeds this
negative fucking connotations. Like if you were to go through the Super Mario Brothers hashtag on Instagram, you would probably find more of what you're talking about. More people posting their opinions and, you know, thoughts and jokes and memes and speedrun footage and like discoveries that they made in the game and accomplishments that they've achieved and more like wholesome stuff like that. But because Twitter is such a fucking cesspool, you can't really explore any sort of niche interest
without getting like
just a slew,
a deluge
garbage
of shit,
just like hot, stinky, gross garbage. And that's just like just because of the environment that it's been allowed to create for itself.
That's fair, because I think
negativity.
I think for a long time in Twitter, especially Facebook, definitely, but Twitter is also a crime to this. Is how negativity drives interactivity. Yeah, people will be more likely. Okay, put it this way: to harken back to the conversation we had earlier this podcast. Of you see something positive on Twitter, you're probably just gonna like it or retweet it and move on. Yeah, you see something negative on Twitter, you're gonna comment, you're gonna quote tweet, you're gonna DM it to someone else. This guy's such a fucking idiot, and like that is interactivity. That's what Twitter wants you to do. But positivity doesn't beget that kind of thing. No one ever shares a positive tweet like, how true is this? Yeah. Unless you're like 60. Like you're like my mom's age or something.
Fortunately, I think that I've done a really good job. When I follow some really lovely people on Twitter, I just want to say, I do follow very nice people. And I do see nice things. And I try to quote tweet nice things. Because again, that's walking the fuck out. That's how you walk the walk, friends. You do the things that you want to see in the world. Yeah. Be the change you want to see in the world.
Be the change you want to see on Twitter.
It's so corny, but it's so true. Honestly, be the change you want to see in the world. If you hate that Twitter is a negative ass place, tweet negative or tweet positive ass things and don't interact with the negative things, you know? And if we all did it, it would stop. And Twitter could be, because Twitter did start out as a place where you could like Twitter created the hashtag. And the reason that they started the hashtag was so that you could look up something that you were interested in and find a bunch of people who were talking about the thing that you were interested in a bite-sized format. That's why the 140 character limit existed, because, you know, our attention spans were turning into shit, and Jack capitalized on that and said, hey, if you want bite-sized information, or if you want bite-sized interactions with people who like the stuff that you like, try a hashtag. Look up Super Mario Brothers and find a bunch of people talking in short forms about the thing that you enjoy. But it just dissolved.
Yeah, because I think...
It just dissolved.
Well, because like I just said about negativity driving interactivity, that's a two-way street, right? So the people interacting with negativity share it, but then the people who spew negativity are aware of it. Yeah. Like people like the Quartering, people like Keemstar, people like fucking... Oh, I don't know. What's another big one? Like, fucking Ben Shapiro, you know? Like, people who just exist to get under people's skin. I really gotta wonder. I would love to have a conversation with one of these guys, like Ben Shapiro. Well, Ben Shapiro's not a good example, because he's a pundit. I say that literally. Like, he's literally a right-wing pundit.
That's his job.
But I would love to talk to someone like Keemstar and be like, do you really believe the things you believe in? Like, honestly. Like, off the record. Like, I won't tell anyone, but I want to know. Like, do you seriously believe these things that you spew on, like, Drama Alert, or whatever the fuck it's called? Yeah. Like, do you honestly, truly believe that what you're saying is the truth? Yeah. I think that's an interesting conversation to have. Because I bet probably not.
Probably not.
Because it's more about the clicks. It kind of harkens back to, like, the clout-chasing leftists we were talking about. Yeah. Where it's like, if your message becomes more about the clicks than it is about the message, and this is a both right and left issue, like, that's a problem. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have anything to really, like, I have no answers, you know? Yeah. I'm not a solutions man.
Honestly, like, I think we're even guilty of it. Not in, like, a trolly way. This is sort of a departure from what we're talking about. Yeah. But we as creatives, you know, we started this channel. We wanted to showcase our acting abilities and our personalities to be like, hey, we're good actors and we want to be actors professionally. We're also good people. We're also people that you want to work with.
Give us money.
People you can see yourself working with.
Please.
But then we sort of got into the social media game and realized that the sort of like wholesome, down to earth feel that we were going for isn't lucrative, and no one would get our message if we didn't play the game a little bit. So we realized that we had to do the clickbaity titles, and we had to use like a paragraph's worth of hashtags in every single post. And
Yeah.
we had to follow trends that we thought were maybe a little corny.
Yeah.
Because simply it would suck people in and get them to watch us, and then they would realize what we were trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
But, we got a little lost in that. And, it's tough because we also want to make money.
Well, because,
I would like to make money.
Playing the Twitch and YouTube game, I've said this many times, so I'll keep it short, but you're at mercy to the algorithm.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
we're all at mercy to an algorithm, even
on social media.
Even right-wing assholes.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Like, in terms of, like, if you want your content to go viral and get shared around, you have to play a certain game.
Yeah.
Right? You have to play the Fortnites. You have to play the Apex Legends of the world. You have to do the YouTube competition trends, which is like so dead, by the way. When's the last time you've seen like a major YouTube trend? Exactly.
Well, I mean, like, what are you talking about? Like cinnamon challenge, like
cinnamon challenges, like unboxing videos are still very popular. But even like red hot knife cutting through things.
Oh, like squishing things,
like making slime,
hydraulic press,
the industrial grinder.
Yeah,
like. Or even shit like, I don't know, like calling Freddy Fazbear at 4 a.m. with the lights off, like stupid shit like that. Mm-hmm. Like, or even like Draw to Life or Draw My Life, or the fuck it was called.
Yeah, Draw My Life.
Like, that's another thing. Like, there really hasn't been a big YouTube trend in quite some time.
Or like Boyfriend Does My Makeup.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like Boyfriend Does My Makeup is sort of just like a thing. Like if you have a makeup channel and you have a partner, you can do like Partner Does My Makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what is a trend, though, that's happening right now?
What's that?
Do you think if I followed the Gorilla Glue topic on Twitter that maybe I'd find some usages for it? Like putting a couple of 2x4s together?
I feel so bad for that girl.
Or gluing my hair to my head?
I feel so bad for her.
Okay, for those who don't know, there is a young lady who was doing her hair with, what's the product actually called that she was supposed to be using?
Oh, it was a Got to Be Glue hairspray.
Got to Be Glue. But wasn't there something with gorilla on it? There was a gorilla on it.
Nope.
There wasn't.
No. There's a popular hairspray. Actually, I see it a lot on Drag Race because they use it to like make their hairstyles stay.
Yeah.
It's a very, very strong hairspray that's very well liked by people who, like you see those styles where someone like slicks back their hair in a ponytail.
Yeah.
It's like slicked back and then like, it'll be like poofy and out in the back, or, they do like a nice slick braid. Or if you're a drag queen and you have a complex hairstyle that you need to stay, you use this like Got to Be Glue hairspray stuff. It comes in a yellow bottle. It kind of looks like an air horn, the applicator for it. But she was out and she couldn't find any more. So she found an aerosol bottle of Gorilla Glue.
And in her defense, and I will come to her defense, they both had glue in the title of the thing.
Yeah.
They actually had really similar bottles.
Yeah.
And really similar applicants, which is like that big air horn style thing.
Yeah.
That being said, read the label, girl.
Gorilla Glue is not in the same aisle as hair products.
I was gonna say, did you go to fucking...
You have to go to the hardware section to get Gorilla Glue.
You can't get Gorilla Glue in a grocery store? You can't get...
I mean, you probably can, especially since she's in America. But like,
okay, that's different.
You would have to go to a hardware aisle. It's not in the hair product section.
In Ontario, you can't fucking go to a Rexall or a Shoppers Drug Mart and get Gorilla Glue.
Yeah.
It's not there.
Yeah.
You'd have to go to Walmart for something like that.
Yeah.
Or like you said, like a Home Hardware.
Yeah.
A fucking Home Depot.
But like I'm saying, even in a big store like a Walmart that has hair supplies and hardware
You'd have to go to the section.
Different departments. There's electronics and clothes and beauty and hardware, and they're all separate.
Yeah.
I don't know what she was thinking. I know, especially in the black hair care industry, we use a lot of things that you wouldn't think to use in your hair, and it works and it's cool.
Yeah.
And, it happens, even drag queens, they use glue sticks to glue their eyebrows down. It's like an industry. It's not even an industry secret. It's an industry basic.
Mm-hmm.
You get the school glue, because it's water soluble. Like it works, but it's water soluble and it like washes away. And I think she was thinking the same thing, where it's like, yeah, I'll use glue in my hair and, it'll stay better than hairspray will. And maybe it'll be harder to get out, but it will come out eventually. No, Gorilla Glue is famously, amongst carpenters at least, the strongest adhesive
Gorilla Glue is
that you can possibly buy.
Gorilla Glue is an industrial grade adhesive.
Yeah.
They use it in construction sites.
Yes.
Like they use it to like I mentioned, like stick 2x4s together.
Yes.
Like when you have an interlocking thing that you need to make like a little elbow joint or
Yeah.
something, like you'll put Gorilla Glue on the actual interlocking parts so that it never comes out.
Yes.
Because it's Gorilla Glue.
Yes.
Like they put a gorilla on the front because gorillas are strong and hold things tightly, you know? So,
yeah.
conspiracy spot, Sam. I'm gonna ask the hard question. I feel bad. Well, let's disclaimer. I feel bad for this girl.
I feel terrible.
She had to go to the hospital.
And listen, we've said before that we are trying to actively be nicer about the things that we know that we think are common knowledge that are clearly not common knowledge to the world.
Yes.
There's no such thing as common knowledge.
Yes.
So obviously this woman had never heard of Gorilla Glue before in her life
Clearly.
and didn't know how famously strong it was and thought, it's glue. I'll put it in my hair and it's glue. It comes out.
If you've never done like a shop class or like built anything,
Yeah.
like the only reason, think about it, my dad's in construction.
Yeah.
So like,
not everybody's dad is in construction.
so I hear a lot about that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So like, I believe you me, but nowhere near as much as him, but like, I have a baseline knowledge of a lot of things in that field. And Gorilla Glue is one of the things you'd hear about, right? If you haven't, if both your parents are like accountants or something, like you might seriously have never heard of Gorilla Glue. It's possible.
It's very possible.
It's possible.
So I feel terrible for this girl because she didn't know.
And she had to go to the hospital. It's worth saying that she's better. She's fine.
I just saw a video before we started recording. She had to go to a proper like surgeon who used a combination of like medical grade adhesive solvent, aloe vera, I think some kind of oil, like coconut oil or
lemon juice,
something like that to get it out. It's actually really nice because it was a black doctor, which I really appreciate because he understands.
Well, he didn't just shave her head.
Well, no, yeah, he understands black hair.
Yeah.
So he understands, and I liked that he used like a medical grade solvent, but everything else was like stuff that you can find in like a grocery store, like aloe vera gel, coconut oil, like natural things.
He saved her hair. He saved her hair.
He saved her hair. He saved her scalp.
I seriously thought they were gonna have to scalp this poor girl.
Yeah.
Like honest to God.
Yeah.
That being said,
she's okay now.
she posted this on TikTok, I think, right? It was where the video first emerged.
Instagram.
Instagram? Okay, so it was on Instagram. I think it was Instagram Live or something, wasn't it?
No, I think it was just a video.
Regardless, it is pretty hard. Unless someone put that Gorilla Glue in the hair care section,
Yeah.
you'd have to seek it out.
Yeah.
You also had mentioned before we started recording that this girl now has a manager's email, a social media manager's email in her bio.
She has a manager.
For business inquiries.
Yeah.
Do you think that this is a troll at work?
No.
Full circle.
No.
I also don't think so either.
No.
Her reaction seemed like if it was a troll, she's just a little dumb because
that's committing.
Because like
that's committing.
She clearly, at the end of the day, and here's the crux of this issue, right? Even if she was a troll, she clearly still underestimated how strong Gorilla Glue is. Because she had to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
You know? Like, if you really wanted to troll people by putting glue in your hair, you don't get the strongest glue you can get. Because you need to be able to, at the end of the day, be like, it was just for yucks, and then you wash it out.
Well, because like I'm saying, if you put glue in your hair, it's going to be difficult to get out. Like, it's going to be difficult. Even if I went and got, like, Elmer's white school glue and I put it in my hair and I used it for a hairstyle, it would be difficult to get out. I could do it at home, though.
Maybe take a couple hours, but yeah, you could do it.
Yeah, and I might have to get some, like, it might take more than shampoo. I might have to get, like, isopropyl alcohol or, maybe try some at-home remedies, get some Crisco, try and, like, grease it and to deactivate the glue. But I could do it at home without the help of a medical professional. It would take some heavy Googling, not the help of a medical professional.
I honest to God, like, more on the topic of this girl, because she posted video updates to, like, as it was going on. Yeah. Which sort of, like, I'm glad she did because it's a journey that we all got to see the end. And, like, I was genuinely concerned for her. Yeah. But at the same time, I think
as a black woman who cares about her hair, I was very invested.
Absolutely. Yeah. But I also think that kind of fueled the flame as to why people maybe thought it was fake. Yeah. Because like you're literally like taping this. I don't know the word. You're chronologizing it or whatever.
Yeah. Chronicling it.
Chronicling it. Thank you. Chronologizing. It's like that Kermit impression I did in a stream last night. Twitch TV says chill spot. And I can see where people are coming from, and that like it's easy to look at someone who's like chasing clout or fame, or like I want to be the glue hair girl and go on Ellen. Not anymore, anyway. But like, I want to go on. Fuck.
Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah. A show.
Yeah.
And like,
I want to go on Red Table Talk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to be called to the red table.
Yeah.
What was wrong with you? Are you okay?
Red Table Talk is a decent show, actually.
Well, I know. I just like to make. I'm just kidding around. I'm sure it's fine. But at the same time, I was just so fucking concerned.
Yeah.
I was like, this girl. There is no way that they're gonna get this out of her hair without her not killing her.
Scalping her. Like,
they'll rip her head off.
Yeah.
Like Mortal Kombat style.
Yeah. No. I followed her very intently. Part of the reason why she updated people so much was because, like I say, Black women care about our hair a lot, and we are always trying new things and finding the most unlikely of things that work with our hair to secure the styles that we like to wear our hair in. And sometimes that's a beautiful thing. Yeah. Sometimes you find a miracle ingredient and you want to tell the whole world about it. Other times, holy shit. Yeah, like, we have done some things. What's the name of that Chris Rock documentary? That's very surface level. Good hair. Yeah.
You've even told me before, and
I show every white person in my life that documentary.
Because it's a great documentary. Because for me, like, and I really just want to say, like, I'll let you finish, but like, I know you've mentioned that documentary is surface level. Yeah. And that's fine.
It's also aged.
But it's a place to start.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest with you, Sam,
it's a place to get an appreciation for the work that Black women put into our hair and to get it to look nice.
That info is not talked about at all.
It definitely wasn't. The internet and social media have changed that, but it definitely was not at the time that Chris Rock made that documentary.
Oh yeah. Look, put it this way: if you're listening at home, and I don't think anyone who listens to this podcast would, but if you're listening at home, and you've ever thought to yourself, like, why do Black people get so riled up when someone, like a white person, wears dreadlocks?
Yeah.
Or like, they get told to take their twists out at work.
Yeah.
Or they get told that wearing braids is unprofessional. Like, why they get upset about something like that. And like, oh, but it's just hair, is because it's so not just hair.
So not.
Like, so not just hair.
So yeah, to circle back to Gorilla Glue Girl, when, you know, this girl was having a hard time, you know, in her very first video, I think she kind of just posted it for her like friends, because she had this ponytail in. It's like a slick back style with a braid. It looked beautiful. She had obviously had it in for a really long time, like a month or something crazy like that. Longer than you really should have that hairstyle in, because it wasn't all her hair. It was like done hair. And they were like, oh, you've had that for so long. Why haven't you taken it out yet? And she was like, I can't get it out. I cannot get it out. So she showed the Gorilla Glue and what she had done to her hair, and she was like running her hair like back and forth over her scalp, and it wasn't moving.
The scalp was like moving. Her hair skin was moving with like it was her actual hair.
It looked like her scalp wasn't even, you know how if you like move your head back and forth, like your scalp moves a little bit? It wasn't doing that. It was rock solid.
Right.
So I think she posted the video originally for her friends and family and like, you know, followers, like what little followers she had, just to be like, hey, I'm not just neglecting my hair and like fucking it up and leaving it in for longer on purpose. I literally can't get it out. And then it just blew up.
I'm in trouble.
And then it just blew up. And when Black people got a hold of it and saw what she had done, it blew up even more and really started talking about it, because hair is so important to us. And so she started getting messages, because I followed her account and I kept up with her posts from that point. And she posted a lot about like, thank you for all the messages of concern. You know, like, I really can't handle, you know, I wasn't trying to get famous when I got all of this. And if you need any proof, I hate the amount of hate that I'm getting from this, calling me stupid, calling me an idiot, saying stuff like, how did you not know that Gorilla Glue was so strong? Like, I don't like this. No. I didn't want this to go viral. I posted it because it was just, this is my personal account.
Right.
You know, I went really far back in her social media, and it's just a girl's Instagram. It looks like my fucking Instagram. Right. It's not all like pretty pictures and stuff. There's like invitations to her kid's birthday party on there. Right. It's just a normal fucking person's Instagram. That's
she like works at the bank.
That's why I don't think she's trolling.
Right.
She obviously just posted a video and it blew up because this is the internet.
Right.
And she obviously wasn't prepared to handle the influx of attention that she got about this process that she was going through. She's just a normal person who got smacked with this all of a sudden. And, you know, like, people thought that it was suspicious that she got a manager. A manager will help you manage the influx of attention that you're getting. That is literally what a manager is for.
Right.
And they tend to come out of the woodwork because managers, listen, I have questions about this manager because there are predatory managers who, with the rise of social media, keep an eye out for viral stars to try and make money off of them. And then they'll book them. That's why you see, like... That's why, like, Danielle Bregoli, fucking, like, Cash Me Outside girl, went back to Dr. Phil because her fucking manager was like, oh, well, you got to go back here. You know, drive the viewership up. Get it up. So I'm, first of all, be suspicious of that manager that Gorilla Glue girl has. And second of all, like, I'm sure she was just overwhelmed and she needed some help.
That's
and
fair.
This person said, I have experience with managing, you know, all the attention that you're getting. I first found out about Gorilla Girl through the Shade Room, which is a gossip site, you know, like really, really scummy gossip site.
I saw it being shared around on Twitter from all sorts of people.
And, like, she did an interview with TMZ. So I'm sure her manager was like, I can help you, like, deal with all of the attention and teach you how to go on a talk show and tell your story.
More of a publicist.
So that you can, you know, manage some of this attention that you're getting, because the average person doesn't know how to handle that.
With that being said,
I wouldn't.
I actually think that's kind of smart. Like, if all of a sudden I went from 400 followers on Twitter to like 2.3 million.
I'm not saying she's going to start a cosmetics line anytime soon.
No,
it's just
but
to manage the attention.
Having that many eyes on you can be a really easy thing to fuck up. Yeah. Because put it this way, your and mine opinions on Twitter and on this podcast and everything, while it is available for the public to watch and it is on the internet, we never really get checked.
No.
Right?
Just by Toby.
Yeah, my good old Toast.
Just by our friends.
But if all of a sudden we had 1 million subscribers on YouTube, I'm sure there's plenty of people who would take all sorts of issues with tons of things that we said that we've considered like innocuous.
Yeah.
And like things that we'd stand by. It's not like early episode of the CSP, like Sam screamed the N-word. And it's like, you know, but it's like, it's more just like we'd find out that people en masse disagree with us.
Yeah.
As well as agree with us. Like, it's a two-sided coin.
Yeah.
But that attention is a lot.
Yeah.
For someone who's never had it before.
Yeah. Especially as quickly as Gorilla Glue Girl.
Overnight.
Literally overnight.
Also, okay, fine. Last hard-hitting question of the podcast, Sam.
Okay.
We asked, this is the new Chill Spot podcast. We're recorded now. We have a set.
Yeah.
I asked hard-hitting questions. Uh-huh. How much of this negative attention that Gorilla Glue Girl got do you think, like accusing her of being a troll, accusing her of doing it for the clout, how much of that do you think has to do with the fact that she's black and a woman?
Oh, so much.
Yeah?
So much. Especially, like, have you seen the video of her talking about like the way that she talks?
I didn't really I watch a lot of my videos on silent.
she has like a I don't want to say like ghetto accent, but she
speaks with AAVE.
Yeah, she speaks with AAVE and stuff like that. And she has these like really intense contacts that make her pupils look like a different size. It's very eye-catching and wears like crazy eyelashes and stuff like that.
So people immediately thought she was a bimbo or something.
People turn her into a caricature immediately, on site.
Right.
And it is so easy with her appearance to dehumanize her.
Right.
I think that has a lot to do with it.
That's interesting.
I think that has a lot to do with it. And you know, I saw people making fun of it. You know, I saw people making fun of her contacts and stuff too. When the first video came out where she talked about how she couldn't get the glue out of her hair. 100%. And just because people know, especially black people, and like, listen, I love black people. Black people are some of the meanest people on the internet.
No comment.
You guys are so fucking mean. Like, man, y'all say some mean shit about people who deserve it and people who really don't deserve it. And hair being such a hot button topic, you know, a topic that we care about, that we're very passionate about, that we have our own opinions about, that it can be a regional thing, you know, like depending on where you are in the world, you have different opinions on hair. Because it's about black hair, it's a very hot topic for black people.
Right.
And especially with black women. For a black woman to mess up so badly and to like cop to it. Like, honestly, Cameron, when I saw that, I was like, I can't believe this woman made a video about it. I can't believe she put it on the internet. I would never share that. I would go through everything that she went through. I would go to the hospital. I would try and get it figured out, all that stuff. I would not post any of it.
No.
And I would hide. If I fucked up my hair that badly.
Right.
100%. You know, like I felt I was showing my whole ass just by taking my box braids out in your house and not in my house. Mm-hmm. I felt cornered because I was like, I can't do this in the comfort of my own home where I'm okay with this. I have to do it in this house full of white people in suburban Mississauga who have never seen a box braid in their life until I came around at the ripe old age of 26.
Right.
So, for a black woman to say, I put Gorilla Glue in my hair and it's stuck.
And I need help.
And, you know, and I think she also said that was one of her motivations for putting it on the internet. 'Cause she was like, I don't know what to do. I need help. Somebody help me. I would never ask for help in that way.
No.
You know?
Well, she also probably didn't think, like you said, like it's just her personal Instagram.
Yeah.
She probably didn't think she'd end up on the fucking Shade Room.
No.
You know, she probably follows the Shade Room.
No.
Imagine seeing your own Instagram video on the Shade Room. I think I'd rather die.
I would pass away. I would honestly pass away
if
I wound up on the Shade Room for that reason. Because, like, for what it's worth, a lot of black people say that we should really delete the Shade Room and, like, cancel the Shade Room because they do generate a lot of negativity amongst the black community. The Shade Room only covers black celebrities, black Hollywood, black life, black popular life.
You could argue that's a form of trolling.
Listen, the Shade Room are some of the biggest trolls.
Yeah.
On certain things. But they also post positive things, you know, like they post about like black people succeeding, and not even just famous black people, you know, like sometimes, you know, they posted about some black girl in like Flint, Michigan, who is like 9 years old and is advocating for like water rights there.
Sure.
And she's been doing it for years. And they did it in light of sort of like Greta Thunberg getting famous and saying like, hey, like it's not just little white girls, it's little black girls, and they're out changing the world. That's why I follow the Shade Room, because it is a mix. But they do sort of like make money off of making fun of people like Gorilla Glue Girl. They also do that.
I mean,
and giving people a space to do that.
If your abusive boyfriend made you dinner every Saturday, but killed your dog last week,
yes,
was the dinner worth it?
It is, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
You're right.
Like, you understand what I'm saying?
You're
like,
right.
You know?
Yeah, it's just I don't want to get into it because that's a totally different. It's diverging from the topic as to why I follow the Shade Room, which I can talk about on a different podcast if you want.
Talk about the Shade Room from top to bottom.
Yeah. But yes, I acknowledge that the Shade Room is a toxic space, and I feel bad that they blew her up like that because they kind of opened the floodgates for her to receive all of that negativity. And hair is such a sensitive topic. It's such a glorious thing, especially for black women, for us to share with the people that we love, and for this negative experience to go so public. You know, I feel for this girl, and if I can hold any space for her, like, listen, I understand. I don't know how to take care of my hair. Everything I know about taking care of my hair, I learned secondhand from blogs, from, you know,
you're very good at taking care of
other
your hair,
people. I could be better, but I could also be worse, and I was worse, and I had learned. And I'm sorry that this happened to you. Like, I'm sorry that happened, and I don't think that you're stupid, and I don't think that you were wrong. I think you tried something, and it didn't work out.
You know,
and I'm just glad that you got to keep your hair because, I was really scared. And I do still fear for the aftermath of what she's going to have to do to...
her hair is definitely permanently damaged.
It's never going to be the same.
Ever again.
And that breaks my heart. That breaks my heart for her, she's going to have to relearn how to take care of her hair.
She made a really innocent mistake and it changed her life forever.
Black women go on a journey when it comes to learning about our hair, and she's going to have to go on a completely new journey now. And there's a lot of pain and there's a lot of growth, but there is going to be beauty that comes from that. And I genuinely hope that she can get to a spot, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not a year from now, but she can get to a point where she can fall in love with her hair again and be happy with her appearance and how her hair looks.
You know, it was a dark journey, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Much like the end of this podcast. Thank you so much for listening to the Show Spot Podcast, everybody. We upload every Tuesday at 3 p.m. You can watch us on YouTube in live action now, so be sure to check out the YouTube video when it drops. If you're not into that shit, well, you can always listen to us on Podbean or Spotify and Google Podcasts and Apple Podcasts and MySpace, wherever. Yeah, we fucking Google Hangout.
SoundCloud. We're not on SoundCloud.
We were going to be on SoundCloud.
Yeah, but that didn't work out.
And because they have a 2 megabyte upload thing. Like, what the fuck is that about?
Yeah.
But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, this podcast, be sure to leave us a review where you can, or drop a comment in the comment section. What do you want to see us talk about on the Chill Spot Podcast? Give us some things to talk about. And with all that said and done, folks, we'll see y'all next week.
Thanks for watching, everybody. See you later.
Have a good night. Bye.
Bye. Be nice to black women.
Yeah.